We have just sanctioned the Iranian National Bank. That is their central banking system, and it's going to be at the highest level of sanctions. So that just took place, and a couple of other things.
The president as a man of steel. How do you describe our prime minister?
As you instructed me, we are continuing the maximum pressure campaign. This is the last remaining source of funds, so both the Central Bank of Iran as well as the National Development Fund, which is their sovereign wealth fund, will be cut off from our banking system. So this will mean no more funds going to the ROGC or to fund terror, and this is on top of our oil sanctions and our financial institution sanctions.
Absolutely. It was an honor of you and Australia. Okay, thank you very much. So
this is very big. We've now cut off all source of funds to Iran.
It goes all the way up to the very top?
That does.
Thinking about having a meeting. I didn't like the idea that they couldn't. We're dealing with many nations. We're dealing with some of the neighbors to Saudi Arabia, and of course we're dealing with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is very much involved from the standpoint of what we're doing and what they're doing, and we're working together with others. We're also working on the cost of this whole endeavor, and Saudi Arabia has been very generous. We want to see if it works out, and if it works out, that's great, and if it doesn't work out, that's great. In the end, it always works out. That's the way it is. It always works out. To a level that it's never been before. Spent a lot of money. You'll be seeing certain things happening, but a very major factor is what we did. These are the highest sanctions ever imposed on a country. We've never done it to this level. And it's too bad what's happening with Iran. It's going to hell. Doing poorly. They're practically broke. They are broke. And they could solve the problem very easily. All they have to do is stop with the terror. They have been the number one, as you know, Scott, very well, number one country worldwide of terror, between sponsoring it and doing it themselves. And we can't have it, friend. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Scott, would you like to say something?
Well, he was saying that we both would like to see a prosperous Iran. We'd like to see the people of Iran, but let's see the people right across the world to be able to benefit from prosperous economies doing well. That's what we want. This is why Australia and the United States have always worked so closely together, is because that's what we want for our own people, that's what we want for everyone.
I think Scott and I would rather take a pass, though. I don't know, would you like to be on there? I think, I'm not sure, but I know. And I think it shows far more strength to do it the way we're doing it. And again, whether it's next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, doesn't make any difference. Whether it's now or in 3 weeks, doesn't make any difference. But I think the strong person's approach and the thing that does show strength would be showing a little bit of restraint. Much easier to do it the other way. It's much easier. And Iran knows if they misbehave, they're on borrowed time. They're not doing well. I'd like to see them do great. I'd love to see them do great, but they're not doing well. They're doing very poorly. There is nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing.